Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long. I've had plenty of puzzles to show off and work on and show you guys, but I've also been kind of on a kick for like older puzzles. So I don't know if it's like good to just show off puzzles that like nobody could find at this point. But I got some cool stuff. I need to film more. It's been a busy end of the year. Been producing more, and speaking of which, I have a new puzzle here. This is something that's going to show up on my site. We're going to do some drops of it, and I thought I would do a solve video of it, kind of like a hint video, so that if you were stuck you could kind of take your time with it. So I could like pause and get to each part. But what is it, right? Well, what this is actually is a puzzle that was on Thingiverse, and still is. And the designer of it, you don't see a lot of them because the designer of it made a video that was really kind of fast, just kind of went through like a breakdown and build up, and there was no instructions. So people were a little bit trepidatious to get into it, and so I spent some time building it and printing it, and different parts and different filaments for parts and sizing them and everything until I had something that kind of worked. But it was really beating me up getting it, to where I could just, oh goodness, repeatedly make one of these. So I reached out to the designer and had to get him to make some changes, and in the process came up with it as like a product, recoup on some R&D, I suppose. So this here, this is the one that people get. This is called Diced, D-I-E-S-D, like a die-S-D, but pronounced Diced. And this is the X-ray model. Most die are white with black dots. So this is the reverse, and then you got the red dot here. I think it looks cool. It's a cool puzzle. It's got a lot of steps to it. The goal, I haven't fully released this yet. I've done like a few copies, like less than 10. And the feedback is good. The goal might not have been clear enough. It was the Vegas goal: play dice till you make money. And you'll see why I said that in a moment, but I think I'm going to change it to like until you hit gold. And then this version here is my tentative prototype for the double negative version. So showing the differences here. Let's see, let's line them up. White tab, red dot here, red panel here, red and white instead of black and red with a white top. This I might go back to red. I just thought it looked kind of cool. That's the same essentially, except it's smoke underneath, and same here, except you got this like plaid pattern underneath. I like it. I might go all red. The idea here is like here you have all red cube, and then here you have this mixed up like Frieza Dragon Ball Z type thing. So let's solve one. This one's still got to get cleaned. Let's solve it. So when you get the cube, you'll notice that like none of these panels want to move. Nothing's able to, and you can look and see where every panel is being blocked. Like this one panel is blocked on 2 sides. This one looks like it's blocked on all 4 sides. 6 seems to be the only open one, where it's not blocked anywhere, except this tab is blocking the top. So that, is that this is on top too. So if you start like pushing and pulling, you'll notice that nothing's moving. But there is creases like here. So you can tell that these separate here, but they don't. You can see that these are like sliders. This doesn't want to move, but this pops out when you push on it. So this is an SD without any tools. So this is just what it is. It's a stopper here, which means then that if you were stuck at that part, you might want to stop, because the next part is going to be that you can slide something now. Now, you can see it through this one kind of because of the clear. There you go. Somewhere. You can see that lock being, so the slider's locking the 2. So once that's out of the way, I think it's pretty obvious what you can do next. You can push this back. It shifts this a little bit. I liken this to like a rune or maze cube mixed with SD elements. And I know it's controversial to call this an SD when it doesn't have tools, but it is. So this allows it to slide up. There's a groove back here. You can see. This lock piece right here is like the bane of my existence. We'll get into it as we get closer. But the reason why this panel's popped out a little as it's moved up is honestly from this white tab. For whatever reason, this white tab is thicker, oops, sorry again, than the one I use normally. So this white part might get switched back to red. But it slides up, which allows this piece. Now, when you set it back, I'll show you what you do, but it's gravity based. So you can just go like that and pull it. If it doesn't pull, you can actually use your mouth on it. It sounds silly, but you can actually suck out the dot as you pull it to the left. That's a valid way to do it. Now that this is out of the way, what does it release? Well, it allows this to come back down a little bit lower, see? Which now allows this to, see? I'm sorry I didn't pause there, damn. So I will go slower. At this point, you have 4 blocked in. You still have 3 blocked in. This 6 you could pull down. You could cheat it. There's gears and stuff up here. So if you look, you'll see this gear here, this pinion. And if you look closely, you'll see the red from this piece is like cut into it. So that's a clue. But when you try to turn the open piece, see the one here? It's open like on all edges, but it doesn't, it's locked. So you got to figure out what's locking it, and I'm about to show you. So you might want to stop here. This is a good little trick. If you slide this up, there you go. You'll see there's a rod in there. And this is why I allow tapping with the puzzle, because you got to tap that bad boy out. Now that that's out, this will actually open. And make sure that's in there. And there's a dime here. And you might think that you won because there's money, a coin. That was the money. That was the final prize. It was throwing people off, I guess, because there's something else they were finding. So I just swapped them. Plus, I think Bucketon, a friend of mine, Zach, he's a puzzler. He said that, you know, this isn't as good of a prize as the other one, he said. So I'm going to swap based on that. So now we have this, and we can't do the gear because this thing's blocking it. This thing can't go because of this, and this can't go because of this lock. Like I said, people can cheat the lock by pulling on that, and people say it just slides right on over, but come on now, you really have to tilt that. So treat it as if, I always leave my thumb on it, and that way if it doesn't want to move, see, with my thumb just resting on it, then it ain't supposed to move, which means we got to figure this part out. Well, we still have this slider thing, but this thing doesn't want to come off. But right here, you see like the dot here, and then you see the black dot, like this hole in this dot. That's kind of a clue there. You can slide back up and then try to pull down and see it moves. And you can see lines here. What we have ourselves is a maze plate. See? It's got a dot on the back here. And you're actually going... Oh, and then see right here, it goes into the, ooh, my goodness, I'm bad today. The pinion right there, it cuts into it, locks it in place. So to get this back in, you'd go up and then down, see? And now you have to go up, down, just a little bit, and then back down, and it slides off. Let's put that away too. Now, we can turn the gears. So if you just turn the gear here, going to roll this guy out, and then you remove it, and now you legitimately remove the 6 plate, which leaves just this loose 4 now, which has its little drawer in it, gold coin. And yeah, I do feel like this is a better at the end. The Mario coin is cooler. That's legitimately what this is. I literally was like, let me whip up a Mario coin. I thought it was cute. The back sides of them aren't as cute because of the way printers are. That's with fill, or with support. There you go. And that's your prize. You found gold, right? And then on the rule sheet, it tells you, you know, tapping's allowed. You know, it's Gregory Hines that loves to tap, and but it won't get you far. You know, it's for the rod. And then the rest is just sliding stuff. It all moves very easily. It's just that one panel is an issue, and you can't really do much about it with this design. I mean, this rack is cool, and the designer really loves this part of it. This was designed, you know, as a personal project for them. They weren't making a product for the public. They just threw it up on Thingiverse because it was cool, and I mean, and it's very valid in that sense. I thought this had the potential of being an actual product, so that's why we worked on it. I originally had this thing coming out really far, which scared people from sliding this up, and I mean, because they were following the rules. The funny thing with this puzzle is either people missed the rule about the tilting and stuff, or I didn't emphasize it enough, or there was people that took it way to heart, so they didn't get anywhere with the puzzle. So it was like, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So how do we put it back together? Well, obviously the first step is going to be the last. You know, you're going to put the coin back in. It does diverge a little bit from the original. So you're going to put the 4. Now you put the 6 on. Right? And now you're going to put the rack back in. Okay. Now this is kind of tricky. If you look at this pinion here, you'll see that it's round on one side, flat on the other. That's where you want to end up. And then you have the gear here, the long bit. It needs to go into the teeth from, I believe, this arm or that. I think it's going to be this one here. And where you're basically setting it is in this first groove. So let's put it together. And getting all these things to slide in and out with different types of filament and stuff was really the real work of all this. Now, if I do it like that, yeah, you gotta work them both together at the same time. But this should be flush, and then this should be flush as well. You know, it should be flat here. So we got that back on. Okay. The next step would be the 3 to lock the gear in place. Now, I've already shown you how to do this one a few times. We go all the way almost up, like 75%, then all the way up. And then once we're there, we pull back down. I don't want that on my screen. Let's see here. And then now we can lock in the fake out prize, right? And I was noticing a little bit of jump up. I think I might have put a bad piece right there. Pops up. Do you hear my cat, you know, cleaning up her mess? It's amazing. It sounds like she's being a good girl, but really, I think she's just making noise. Put that back in there. Make sure before you commit to it that you can actually pop it back out. I have to do a lot of filing on these to make sure that they slide naturally. You're going to bring it down. You're going to put your 2-piece back on. That should just slide back there. Then you're going to slide your 6 up. And then this guy here, push it in. And then this dot goes in this piece right here. And then this is what it's actually grooving into. So you put them together. And then as you slide it down, push this piece in, or you're not really locking it. Okay? And that way, well, that one just drops. If you try to do it like this, it won't come off. That's the trick. Like, it's gravity based. Sometimes though, gravity's not enough because it's plastic. There's enough angle here. You really have to push on this one. This is why I'm thinking about considering going all red. There we go. And then you push the 2 out. I used to be worried about these tabs. I found a new way on the slicer to just grab a section, which I do the entire tab and then like part of the body attached to it, and just go a full 100%, or 50 in this case, but I can't even break it with my hands. I mean, I'm sure I could if I tried really hard, but yeah, that's never gonna happen, just solving a puzzle. So lock the 2 in place, right? And then you're gonna put your stopper back. There you go. And now we have a fully reset diced. If you consider each step, you know, like moves and stuff, like moving this up, moving this in, you know, moving a lock. This has 22 moves, I believe, if I remember the count. But there you go. That's a pretty cool puzzle, I think. And I have another one from this designer. I literally have not even looked at it. Did not want to get drawn into it just yet. This thing, I have multiple other products right now ready to go. I have one almost completely done and printed out, like at least a 10 set of them, which is going to be really nice because it's from a big name designer and it's some stuff they haven't released yet that is like a series, you know, like a trilogy. And I'm really proud of the work we've done on that one. But it's just sitting there. Like, I can't do multiples right now. There was a lot of response to this thing. So with the panel, I felt bad with the lock thing here, with it not being able. And I've had some people reach out and say they might be able to help me make this part better. So we'll see, because I have to get it to the designer for them to actually make the change. Unless it's a part I can just design. But it's been a good pairing so far. They're a new designer to it all. I think they have a lot of potential. They thought of all this themselves. And this new one they're talking about sounds pretty cool. I just got to actually look at it. And then, of course, if it continues good, I have SD designs. I might have them model up as well. But this is a small, like karakuri cube type, small cube type size. But man, it has a lot of steps. I wouldn't mind seeing something like this. I would say wood, but wood would be too thick for something. You'd have to do this in metal, I would think. But I don't know. I think I did all right with the print job of it. And you can actually see right here that the white is thicker for some reason. That's the whole point with 3D printing. Like, you might pick a material that looks good, but the way it prints, it might settle a weird way, or it might have... with a lot of the harder plastics that I'm trying to use, like this is all in black because this Hatchbox Sparkle Black is super solid. Like, this is a very strong and solid, reliable filament. And so you want it for the looks of the outside and the stability and strength of these panels. But, you know, I wanted to switch a color up, and then now I have something that's somewhat thicker. So, you know, you need to adjust it here or there. And since I didn't design this myself, I can't just jump on Fusion and tweak those things. I have to, you know, well, here, I'll show you. Here's my list. This is my cheat sheet for all the parts. It's changed a lot. These are the percentage of size, the different infills I've had to use through different phases of it all. And this is how I actually get it done, because it's a lot to remember. So this is Dice, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, if that's your thing, or happy belated Hanukkah, or whatever you like to celebrate this time of the year, if anything at all. I'll be just chilling, doing my puzzling today, but I thought I'd put this out. You probably won't see it right away. I know I'm doing a Merry Christmas, but I might as well say Happy New Year, because this puzzle won't come out until New Year, and I'm not going to drop this video until it's out. I'd be silly to give people the opportunity to spoil themselves and possibly not want to get it. Not because I don't think it's good. Actually, the opposite. I think that they would, out of curiosity, might see something they don't want to see, and then decide they actually wanted to do the puzzle, you know? And then if they wanted, then they've already kind of seen it. You know how that all goes. So I just don't want to give people the opportunity. I don't want it to accidentally pop up on their YouTube feed or anything like that. So this one here, like I said, this will be our Happy New Year's video, I suppose. New Year, new video. And I appreciate you guys. I've been having fun with the puzzling. We're going into year 2 of all of it. Got some really cool stuff. Here's some show and tell. This is a caustic. Not like CAU, no, that's just their name, like KO sticks. This isn't really so much a puzzle as it is an assembly item. Oh, goodness. But they're very high-end, and they're made by a woman named Jane that has been doing this for like 40 years. So the precision on these is next level, and there is a eucalyptus burl interlock in there. This one here is amazing. I'll probably be moving this one because I have a much larger one coming in that has almost like 3-4 times as many pieces. It's going to be actually quite expensive, so I don't really need 2 of these at that point. This here has been my favorite lately. This is a Ternary Bird. Only 38 of these in existence. This is about 6 years old. Walnut and cherry. Not too exciting, but the way they were cut makes it look like a lot of woods. And this thing's just cool. I can barely get it in the picture. Essentially, you have 5 bars here that move and shift and interlock around each other. And they follow almost a computer pattern. I haven't yet wrapped my head around doing it reliably. But once you get all 5 of the pieces out, then this thing breaks down into 17 more pieces, and you disassemble it into a total of 22. And then you put it all back together, and then when it's all back together, it's actually pretty tight. It's all solid across the sides, flat, nice and mixed wood, you know, colorful patchwork here, kind of like a tesseract. And then thank you to my Secret Santa. They hooked me up with a cool marble wood box that had this inside. This is a yosegi. So if you don't know what a yosegi is, basically they take multiple layers of wood, cut it into like, they stack them into 3s, cut it, shave, you know, little bits of the section off, and then they take tweezers and apply them in a pattern. And then these usually have cuts underneath that allow that, like puzzle box type stuff. That's not really spoiling anything. They all do this kind of thing. This one here has 12 steps. And it took me a while to figure out. 2 sit downs with it, probably a good 20 minutes or so, you know. I was kind of hung up on a bit of it for a minute. And I'm looking forward to trying one with, like, you know, 100 moves. That'd be awesome. And, you know, I could show some more here, but we're getting up into the 20-minute mark, 22-minute mark, so I will wrap it. Hey, you guys enjoy. I hope you enjoyed your holidays at this point. And let's jump into 2022 with some cool puzzles. Talk to you guys later.